Welcome back to the CIVDIV. Today we will be discussing nerve pain, more specifically sciatica, and some of its causes. But first, I want to remind you about our 50,000 subscriber drawing for the $2,000. So, as long as you're a subscriber, by the time we hit 50,000, we will be choosing a lucky subscriber out there to win the $2,000. Also, we will be giving away free Nexus letters, hats, shirts, and different other prizes. So if you are not a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button to enter in to win one of those great prizes. Without further ado, let's dive in.
Whiskey 9 Yankee 7 November Golf, over.
Sciatica is a condition characterized by severe lower back leg pain resulting from irritation or compression of the sciatic nerve. It's actually one of the biggest nerves in the body. And the sciatica runs from the lower back all the way down to the legs. As with most conditions, it can vary in severity from mild discomfort all the way to debilitating pain that can significantly impact your day-to-day life. And I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but military service can definitely contribute to development of sciatica in several ways. Rigorous physical demands, including heavy lifting, strenuous activities, and back injuries that can lead to sciatic nerve damage. Also, improper posture during strength training or extended inactivity due to injuries can exacerbate this condition. So a lot of those combat injuries that we suffer when we're out on deployment are another significant cause to the direct trauma to our sciatica. So even wearing your battle rattle for a long period of time, sitting in those planes, sitting in military vehicles, so MATVs, Humvees, whatever vehicle that you served in, can actually contribute to the development of sciatica. So the reason why I'm bringing these things up is I want you to think outside the box as to the causality of your sciatic pain. That will lead you to the in-service event that we know is part of the big three. So speaking of the big three, I would just like you to remember every claim has to have the big three. So service connection will need in-service evidence, injury or illness, the current diagnosis, and the nexus tying everything together. These are going to be ubiquitous among every condition, except for PACT Act, where the in-service event is really just a geographic location or time frame of service. So just keep that in mind as we. One thing to highlight here is that when you are going to go for your exam, you will be given a peripheral nerve DBQ. This is what they're going to base the questions off of. So it would only help you to understand the questions that are on the DBQ and what the 38 CFR states about the symptoms, which is a good segue into the ratings for sciatica. Under the three nerve conditions for neuritis, neuralgia, and paralysis. And so it really will just be talking about nerve damage in general, and that's how they're classified. So for neuritis, it is diagnostic code 8620, inflammation causing pain and loss of function. It goes 10 mild symptoms, 20 moderate symptoms, and 40 moderately severe symptoms, and 60 severe symptoms. Next is neuralgia, which is the intense intermittent pain, which is under diagnostic code 8720. It goes 10 for mild symptoms, 20 for moderate symptoms. Last but not least is paralysis, which is diagnostic code 8520. Varying degrees of paralysis, so loss of total function of specific muscle groups. So you have 10 for mild paralysis, 20 for moderate paralysis, and 40% for moderately severe paralysis. We also have 60 for severe incomplete paralysis and 80% for complete paralysis with no movement below the knee and significant muscle atrophy. But for sciatica specifically, according to the M21, the most severe sciatica will be rated as moderately severe at 40%. The evaluation level specified for moderately severe impairment when the sciatic nerve is affected. The 38 CFR 4.124 provides that the maximum evaluation for neuralgia characterized usually by a dull, intermittent pain in the distribution of nerves, should be evaluated provided for moderate incomplete paralysis of the nerve under the applicable DC code. So essentially what they're saying is the highest rating for the aggravation of the sciatic nerve will fit either in sciatica at moderately severe or neuralgia at moderately severe, which are both 40%. So just keep that in mind when you go in, that most of the time the highest rating for sciatica is going to be that 40%. Now, that's most of the time. There are going to be some points where you have extremely bad sciatica that renders incomplete paralysis, that might render you that 60%, but just from what the M21 is saying, majority of the time, the highest rating is going to be 40%. So, just one thing to understand about sciatica is mostly a common secondary condition resulting from other service-connected injuries, right? So common conditions linked to the development of sciatica include spinal injuries. So you have that degenerative disc, you have herniated discs, you have different things in the back that causes nerve damage and definitely can tap into that sciatic nerves. And even though you have that back problem, that pain can then end up radiating into the buttocks or the leg. You have osteoarthritis, which is degeneration of the joints, can affect the sciatic nerve greatly depending on where it's located. You have paralysis or severe injuries leading to prolonged inactivity, and which can cause degenerative damage to nerve. Also, diabetes can ravage your nerves. So all of these can contribute to the development of sciatica. Take this into consideration when attempting to file your claim for sciatica, because in order to maximize your rating in general, secondaries are going to be your best bet. And sciatica can be a really good secondary to really develop the connective tissue between other service-connected injuries. Okay, so that's all I have for you today as far as sciatica is concerned. As always, this is Jay with TheCivDiv. Stay informed, stay resilient.